Well, guys, the government recently released some more data about the 2021 census that they're too scared to publish in full, likely because they know it's going to create a shitstorm greater than pretty much anything corrupt politicians have done before. This I've covered in the past when they dropped the first load of information that avoided the real data people are really waiting for. Well, the same is still true now, with the latest release only giving us little bits of information, but from that we can draw some conclusions and make some guesses, so let's go through it.
Let's have a butcher's, eh?
This data here doesn't cover ethnicity or anything like that, so the racial makeup of the country is not something we know, but to be honest, for now this is actually better. Me personally, I don't give a toss what race people are, because with over 10 million foreign-born people here, race is bloody irrelevant. The fact there's more than 10 million people living in the UK that weren't even born here shows just how bad it's got, and from their country of birth you can begin to tell race anyway. But all of the talk about race is secondary to the fact that this shows just how much scumbags MPs are allowed to happen in just 10 years. Now, obviously, this doesn't cover illegals or anything like that, as I highly doubt they're taking part in the census, but I'm sure yous lot already know that. Anyway, this document's labelled International Migration England and Wales Census 2021. It covers international migration including country of birth, passport held and year of arrival. First though, we'll go through the main points which are listed in it here. It says 1 in 6 usual residents of England and Wales were born outside the UK, an increase of 2.5 million since 2011, so that's up from 7.5 million to 10 million now, or 16.8%. So that shows you there we've got an increase of 2.5 million in just 10 years, and obviously they're only the ones we know about. India remained the most common country of birth outside the UK in 2021, 920,000 people or 1.5% of all usual residents. That there is not actually that shocking to me, and in actual fact is less than I thought it was going to be. I thought the number of Indian people here was going to rise significantly. Obviously there are plans for that to happen, with Boris Johnson first doing it and Rishi Sunak likely to do the same. Up next it says the number of people who were born in Romania grew by 576% since the previous census, from 80,000 in 2011 to 539,000 in 2021.
So let's not take the piss here.
So that there is to do with all pre-Brexit, I'm assuming, and probably some after it. Let's be honest, the Conservatives are not exactly anti-immigration, are they? It goes on, 5.9 million usual residents held a non-UK passport. The most common non-UK passport held was Polish, 760,000 or 1.3% of all usual residents. Up next it says 545,000 usual residents or 0.9% of the population had an address outside the UK 1 year before census, down 11% from 612,000 in 2011. So there you see, just from the main points, what a complete clusterfuck this country, government and everything related to our political system actually is. This only covers the last 10 years and obviously what they know about. It don't cover any of the illegal immigrants or the ones who just don't put themselves on the census, which I bet there's bloody loads. In fact, I expect there's more like 70 odd million people here than the 59 million this claims there is. Either way, it shows that there's far too many people who were born outside of the UK currently living here while we sit here with piss poor public services because obviously the amount of people in the country. Now here you can see a list of all the top countries which have passports held while living in England and Wales. Poland, Romania and India sit at the top. Then you got Italy, Ireland, Portugal, Spain, Lithuania, Pakistan and France. Obviously, I don't believe in any of that because there's missing figures from a bunch of nations that shouldn't be on there. Where the hell is Albania and the 50-odd thousand that arrived of them just this year alone? Oh no, sorry, it weren't 50-odd thousand, it's more like 40,000 or something like that. And now here we're going to have a look at age and year of arrival because that tells us how quickly it's happening and how much of it's been happening over the past 10 years. It says usual residents born outside the UK were asked when they have most recently arrived to live in the UK. Combining this with their date of birth also gives us information on their age of arrival. Of the 10 million residents in England and Wales in 2021 who were not born in the UK, 4.2 million or 42.4% had arrived since 2011. 2.7 million, or 26.9%, had arrived between 2001 and 2010. And finally, 3.1 million, or 30%, had arrived before 2001. So there you can see the massive increase that we've seen since 2010. This is all during the so-called conservative anti-immigration government that we've got now. You know, the ones that the Labour Party scream about all the bloody time. Obviously, they ain't anti-immigration, I'm just taking the piss.
Don't take the piss, Boris.
Now, obviously, none of this really tells us any of the information we need, but I guess it is a start. At this point, though, I really don't think we're going to see the full census until maybe 2025. In fact, if we ever do.
Where